Hey everyone, it's Nate here from Nate's Tech Talk. We're going to take a look at setting up an iPhone or iPad for the very first time. So, first thing you're going to come up is you're going to get the hello screen on the front of the screen here. It's going to be the very first thing you come to when you turn on your phone. It's going to pass through in a multitude of different languages. Don't worry, just sliding at a certain language is not going to lock into that language. So slide over to the right and unlock the screen and select the language you want. So I'm going with English. And select your country. So, the first thing you want to do is select a Wi-Fi network. So I've already actually selected mine, so I'm already logged in. I'm just going to select next. Make sure you can find your Wi-Fi network on that list there. Log into it before proceeding to the next step here. So once you've done that, select next in the top corner there. And here you're going to get three different options. Option number one, I'm going to start from the very bottom and work my way all the way up. Option number one is restore from iTunes backup. So if you are a previous owner of an iOS device, such as an iPhone or an iPad, depending on what you're setting up, select this one here if your backup is stored in iTunes directly. This would have required you to plug in your iPhone or iPad into iTunes and click backup. If you do not have that, then don't use this one because it's not going to be there. Your phone does need to be plugged into iTunes for this to work. So if it's not plugged into iTunes and you want to restore it from iTunes, please do so now. The next one you're going to do is restore from iCloud backup. So an iCloud backup is basically a digital storage of your phone. It contains basically a backup of some of the most basic information, such as your contact list or applications that you've downloaded, calendar events, and those sort of things. The cool thing about an iCloud backup is that it actually just takes the important information but leaves the rest of everything else behind. So if you've had any glitches or issues with your phone in the past, iCloud backups actually won't bring those back. An iTunes backup alternatively will bring those back because it takes a big picture of your entire phone and puts it onto your new one for you. So I do not recommend using iTunes backup in really any circumstance other than just basically keeping a backup of your entire phone. I personally use iCloud and it works really well for me. I don't really need anything else. So the last option is you can set up your phone as a brand new phone. So if that's what you would like to do, select that one there. We're going to set it up as a new phone today, and we're going to create a free Apple ID. So once you've entered the first batch of information, first off your birth date and secondly your name, you're going to be brought to this Create Apple ID section. Now this is a really important section to pay attention to. You can use a current email address, such as a Gmail, a Shaw, or a TELUS address as your Apple ID, or you can create an iCloud email address. Now, if you want to take advantage of all the great features of iCloud, I recommend making a free Apple iCloud email address. This is easy to do. Just select it, create the address you want, and then go from there. It's very, very simple to do. If you want to continue using a regular email address, go ahead and do so, but you will lose some of the features such as Notepad backup. A few of the other backup portions into iCloud will not work unless you have an iCloud address. So because this is an Apple device, I recommend using iCloud, and then from there you can add your regular email into your MailX app on your phone at a later date. It's very easy to do. Just select which one it is and add it in there, and all your emails will come to your phone just the same. So we're going to get a free iCloud email address here and select next. And I'm going to put Nate Tech, nope, not Mate Tech Talk, Nate Tech Talk. I'm going to make that a lowercase n just because I'm a little bit finicky like that. And we're going to create. So give it a second. We're going to create a password. Obviously, this section is going to be grayed out for you guys because I don't want you to know what my password is going to be. So once you've created your password, you're going to have to create 3 security questions. Now, it's really important that you do create these security questions properly and honestly, and make sure that you're also answering them with case sensitively. These questions are very important in recovering your password should you accidentally forget what it is. Each batch of questions has a different one in there. So we're going to go, and I'm going to do this one here. Your second batch of questions is going to be shown right here for you. And your third batch of questions will be right here. Alrighty, so after you've created the security questions, you can create a rescue email. So I'm going to use my other email account. Email updates. So to stay up to date with Apple news, software updates, and the latest information about products and services from Apple, select that. Basically what that means is Apple will email you every once in a while and be like, hey, guess what? There's a new update coming out. You should probably download it. If you don't want that, uncheck it and you won't get emails from them. Very, very simple. Always agree to the terms and conditions. Nobody ever really reads them. Nobody ever really cares. And allow your phone to take a few minutes here to create your new Apple ID. So, usually an email will be sent out to a new Apple ID that you asked for a rescue email. Cut that part out. So, usually your account will get emailed, the one you use for your rescue email, just to verify the address. You can go ahead and do that later on. It's really important that you do verify your address through that rescue email, so that way you can actually get the full use of your email. So we're going to select two different options here. You've got use iCloud or don't use iCloud. For all new phone users, I recommend using iCloud. Now, a little bit of information about iCloud. It is extremely safe. It is extremely secure. Nobody wants your information, so don't worry about being scared of it. iCloud is a very simple feature. Essentially what it does is when you turn it on, it allows you to back up all the content on your device into cloud. If you lose your phone gets stolen, or you decide to upgrade and buy a new phone, you can then sign back in with your iCloud email address, and all the information from your previous phone will show up on your new one without any of your work needing to be done. I strongly recommend everyone turn this setting on because it makes life really easy, especially if you're utilizing the iPhone Apple Care Plus plan, where you can have your phone replaced if you break it. Very, very easy thing to happen, and potentially you could have all your data saved if you're using iCloud. Find My iPhone is a really great feature. Basically, it allows you to track down your phone if you've lost it or if it's been stolen. It also allows you to remotely wipe your phone so that in case it is stolen, people cannot access the information inside your phone. That wiping of the phone will erase all the data on it and require your Apple ID password to be put back into the phone in order to unlock the phone again. If somebody decides to steal it, that phone is now null and void to them with Find My iPhone turned on. It basically turns it into an oversized, really expensive paperweight. This will allow nobody else to use your phone other than yourself until you've removed your Apple ID from this. Keyword in that sentence, until you remove your Apple ID from your account, your phone from your Apple ID. If you lose your phone, I strongly recommend not removing it from your Apple ID list, but instead deactivate it, erase it, leave it alone, and let it sit there. This will stop the person that has stolen it from ever being able to log into their own Apple ID on their own. So we're going to enable Find My iPhone. And not now, but iCloud Drive allows you to basically keep documents, photos, all sorts of stuff in there. I don't use it. I'm not going to use it. You can play around with it if you'd like and then turn it off later. Allow the phone to update all of its settings and information. And don't forget to create a passcode. For this one here, I'm not going to create a passcode because I'm just going to erase the phone anyways. But if you would like to create a passcode, go ahead and do so. But don't forget it. If you forget your iPhone passcode, you get the unfortunate situation where you have to plug your phone into iTunes and sadly erase your entire phone and start fresh. If you try to restore it from iCloud will automatically put the password back on the phone, in which case you're back into square one. So make sure that the password is A, not easy, and B, something you'll remember. I will continue. Siri is basically your automated assistant. I will warn you, Siri does use a little bit of data if you do use her functions, so it's up to you to use it. Siri basically, you can ask her questions, she can make phone calls for you, she can also send text messages out to people in your contact list and search the web for you, open up certain applications, and do a lot of really fun things. She's also really sassy and can sometimes be a bit annoying and doesn't understand what you're saying, so it's your choice of whether or not to use her. I personally prefer to use Siri, so I'm going to be initiating Siri. Diagnostics. This is a really good thing to send out. Send out your diagnostic data. If something goes wrong, like an app crashes or something fails, you can have your phone automatically send that information to Apple to help better the phone. This is a great way for Apple to basically figure out what is not working and what crashes are being more and more frequent on people's devices. Sharing with app developers basically allows you to share what apps you really like, all sorts of fun information. It's personally, it's up to you. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm going to select Don't Share. And now you've set up your phone. That has taken all of 10 minutes to set up your phone here. Very simple thing to do. Let's get started. So, first things first, when you get to your new phone, you're going to show up on this home screen right here. There are 2 pages available to you. These are all the apps on your phone that cannot be deleted. So don't try to delete them. I know some people don't like them, but what you can do is you can store them away in little folders. So, starting from the top here, you've got your messaging center. So your messaging center is going to consist of any iMessages you use and send. For the very first time, because I have no contacts in this email, it's going to be initiating a new message. There's nothing in the history. You can enter a recipient's name to who you want it to. It'll either A, send it as a text message, pending you have a SIM card inside your phone, or B, sending out an iMessage, pending you have a SIM card in your phone again, or are connected to Wi-Fi. The difference between the two is a text message is a paid allotment per month. Basically, your cell phone carrier gives you so many text messages, or unlimited, depending on how you have it set up, to send out to other phones. Any phone number can receive a text message. iMessage is a little bit different. It's very similar to an instant messaging system. iMessage sends a message to another iPhone user using an email address or your phone number through the internet. It does use a little bit of data, so be warned, if you have a lot of iPhone friends, you might be using a bit more data than you want to. Now, we're talking very minuscule amounts, but it does add up over time. So just be aware. I personally wouldn't worry about it if you have anything more than 1 gigabyte of data. Don't worry about the data usage. But other than that, it's a very fun system. You also have the ability to view when they've read your message. You can also send voice messages and pictures fairly easily over the iMessage. Great for someone who has a large data plan and a very low text messaging plan. Calendar is the next one here. Essentially, Calendar is a calendar. Through iCloud, if you have more than one Apple device, what you can do is put something in one device and have it shared amongst all your devices. So when you update one, as long as they're all connected to a network, you can update them all. So if I add a calendar event in here, any of my other devices connected with this Apple ID, or if it's set to family sharing, those devices under the family share plan can receive those updates and have them updated to the calendar. Photos is very straightforward. It's photos. The same way as the calendar thing, when you take a photo with your iPhone, you can actually have those photos shared amongst your other devices using a feature of photos called Photo Stream. It is something you do have to turn on, and it only stores about the first 100 or 30 days worth of photos. So be aware, but it does help allow you to access the photos from anywhere. Your camera is your camera. Again, very simple functioning camera device. It works through the back camera on the back there, or you can also have it work through the front-facing camera right there. And there I am right there through the camera, and we're going to go home. Your weather app is going to be based on your location. So as soon as you open up the weather app, it'll ask you for your location. It's only to find out where you are to display the weather for your local area. Your clock is based on your time zone and where you are. So it's set automatically as soon as you're connected to either A, Wi-Fi, or B, a cellular network. Maps is very simple. It works through the GPS built into your device to find out your location and give you an idea of where you are. It's very accurate if you're traveling, but you do need to have a stable either Wi-Fi network or cellular connection. Videos is videos, same thing as photos, but any videos you decide to put on your phone will go in there. Notes is one of the features that iCloud gives you to be able to share it amongst multiple devices. You can create a note by clicking New, typing your note in here, and then pressing Done. Be warned, the very first line of the note that you type will be the title. So if you want it to be titled something so you can keep yourself organized, make sure you put the name of the note and then press Enter so you can keep up and have everything organized the way you want it to. Reminders is a really cool feature. It allows you to basically remind yourself of things. You can create lists of reminders and different books of reminders as well. Also, you can make alarms, scheduled events that are coming up today. Stocks is Stocks. Passbook, a very fun feature that allows you to put certain applications or cards into your phone. Don't allow you my location. You can add your Starbucks card, for example, and with the new wallet features that are brought along with iOS 8, you can even put a credit card in there too if you're running an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus. iBooks is basically your digital book. You can put novels in there, you can put magazines, whatever you would like inside of iBooks, as well as a new addition is audiobooks, which is super awesome. You do need to be signed into an Apple ID account registered to iTunes in order to access the features of this here. I won't be signing into that right now, but it is available to you. iTunes Store is going to be your music location, so all your music information is going to be stored there for you. So if you want to download music and songs and stuff like that, you can go ahead and do that. App Store is the same as the iTunes Store, but for applications specifically. So if there's an app you want to see and you want to download, there's lots of free ones in the store itself, but it does require an iTunes account to be logged in. Newsstand is basically a place where you can store magazines and articles that you like. Really cool place to go. I don't really use it too much. Feel free to play around with it. Don't worry about anything going wrong with that. Health is basically your health book. It's going to store all the statistical information about your day-to-day activity, how far you've walked, how many steps you've taken, how many stairs you've climbed, your elevation gain and loss. You can also add apps to show the data in there if you're a fitness person, such as using a Polar app to show your heart rate, and other things to be done through the Apple Watch, which we'll go through in a few minutes. Your settings are going to be your master location for all your settings and changes that do need to be made. With the settings here, there's a general location, which is going to contain all the basic information, such as software updates, which I do have one. It's going to be iOS 8.4 that's available for me here. You can download and install your updates through there, or you can do it through iTunes. It's perfectly up to you. One of the nice things with iOS 9 coming soon is that they have really shrunk down the size allowance for updates, meaning you don't have to have a ton of free space on your phone anymore to update your phone. Siri settings, usage, a very handy tool to see how much you've used. You can manage your storage. You can also manage your battery usage and see what apps are using the majority of your battery. It'll give you a 24 hours, so if it's a new phone, you're not going to get anything available yet. You got to be using your phone for a little while. Battery percentage allows you to change how your battery is shown in the top corner there. If you notice now, it says 38%, and my Bluetooth is also turned on. You can also manage your iCloud storage. For free, you're given 5 gigabytes, free iCloud storage. So you can use whatever you want, really, for storage. Auto locks, if you want to set how long it takes for your phone to lock, I'm going to select never because I'm doing this video and I'm tired of the screen going to sleep, but you can set how long it takes. Do remember the longer it takes for your phone to go to sleep, the more battery it uses, so use that one cautiously. iCloud is going to be all your iCloud information. It requires you to log in with your password anytime you open it up so that nobody else can jump in there, but it also shows you what's backing up to iCloud. Right now, I've got everything backing up into iCloud. A cool feature that I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about earlier when during the setup process is called Keychain. Keychain is a very efficient tool if you use multiple websites that you log in with a username, and a password for. I have probably tons of different ones that I use, so I don't really like having to remember them all. So Keychain does that for me. It automatically shares it amongst all your devices and is stored locally. The actual password is stored locally on the phone. But in iCloud, it scrambles it so that your iCloud account basically knows what the password is, but it thinks it's something else, which makes it super secure. Essentially, it'll ask for authorization from other devices. When you enable Keychain on any other iOS or Mac device, you can send a notification to your phone, for example, which will auto-connect. It does it all on its own, which is super handy. It's only specific to Apple IDs, so the same Apple ID to the same Apple ID. So, for example, my friend's Apple ID cannot access my keychain and vice versa. With that being said as well, it's a very safe method of storing any personal passwords you need. It does not store passwords for apps. I will say that again, it does not store passwords for apps. So if you use a banking application on your phone, it will not store that password and information for it. So don't worry about that. The same thing, you get to choose what gets stored in there. So if you're entering banking information onto your phone using a website and it asks you, you can say, no, don't remember me here. I want to do this every time and re-enter everything on my own. Find My iPhone is the setting that allows you to track your phone. We talked about that earlier, so feel free to play around with that. You can access the Find My iPhone features on www.icloud.com, and from there you can access all the information you need using your account. Mail, contacts, and calendars. So for those of you that had other email addresses that you wanted to add in, this is the place you want to do it. Go into that setting, select Mail, Contacts, and Calendar, press Add Account, select the account you want. If you're using a Shaw or TELUS account in Canada, you can select Other or Exchange. Basically, what you're going to need is you're going to need to contact your provider and have them give you the information for an email. Simple step, phone them, tell them I'm setting up my email on my phone or iPad and I need help doing so, and they will walk you through how to do it. If you're like me and you use a Gmail account, it's super simple. Select Google. It'll take you to the account login page, enter your email and your password, and go from there. iCloud, you can sign in with another iCloud email address if you have more than one, and that will give you access to it. If we swipe over to the next page, it'll bring you to a few other options. FaceTime is your basic Skype use for your phone between email addresses. Very handy if you want to do video calls with other people. Your calculator, pretty self-explanatory. Podcasts are audio files that you can keep inside your phone, such as Tech Talks or TED Talks. Lots of other cool things in there. Game Center is basically your information stored on the games you download, your scores, your saves, all sorts of fun stuff. You can connect with your friends and challenge them to challenges too. In the Extras folder, you've got 4 different things. I strongly recommend every new iOS user go through the tips settings, and it'll teach you a lot of really cool things that you can learn about your phone and your iPad. Voice memos, pretty self-explanatory, record your voice. And contacts will show the list of all your contacts stored on your phone from iCloud and other sources. If you are a proud owner of an Apple Watch, select the Apple Watch and it will bring you to a pairing option where you can start pairing your Apple Watch with your phone and track all the information on there. On the bottom here, you've got your quick links. If you notice, as I swipe between the pages, those never change. Those are basically the apps that you can keep down there that you want quick access to. You've got phone, mail, which is your emails, Safari, and music. If you want to move an app down to anywhere on the screen, press and hold until they dance, select the app that you would like to move, and drop it in the location you want. The apps will snap into place next to the previous ones, so just be aware that if you want to put them in certain spots, you have to wait until they shuffle out of the way. So for mine, I personally prefer music being on the bottom, as well as mail. I like messages being down there, quick access to the messaging center. I also prefer having my app store down there as well. Very quick access to the app store. So those are some of the apps that I like to keep there. If you download an app, you're going to notice a cool little button above the application. You're going to see an X that will show up in the top corner there. That'll allow you to delete the app, and it'll also prompt you if you want to delete the data. Be aware, once you delete an app from your phone, it does not permanently delete it from your phone indefinitely. You can always re-download the app through iCloud in the App Store. That's about everything I've got for you here. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, and make sure you also subscribe below, and check out my other YouTube page if you're a gamer, called PlayerOnePlayerTwo Games and Reviews, to watch some amazing playthroughs of some awesome games. This is Nate. I am signing off, and we'll see you next time.